Good afternoon, parents. This is the principal update for January 18th, and I'll take this opportunity to say Happy New Year to you, but clearly we've been back 2 weeks and a lot has happened in those 2 weeks. Firstly, the really impressive lateral flow test programme resumed on the first week, and can I thank parents for their support with getting their children in and out during that testing period. And it was really important we did it, and we found over about 50 cases of people who got positive lateral flow tests. That doesn't mean they had COVID, but positive lateral flow tests, which help protect the student and staff body going into the rest of this term. So thank you for participating. And can I remind parents, please, to ensure that students are testing twice weekly as a minimum. And if you need more lateral flow tests, please do contact your child's tutor, who can help facilitate those boxes of testing going home as well. Our second week was then faced with Ofsted, which wasn't a surprise to us in terms of Ofsted coming, because we've been writing to them for the last 2 years saying, please do come back and reassess the school and redesignate us out from the requires improvement from February 2018, 4 years ago, to where we are and where we put ourselves forward of good and outstanding features. And unfortunately, I'm not able to give you the outcome of the inspection. That is due to come to you as soon as we have the final report. And it takes about 30 days for that to happen as the longest period, but I think it will be quicker. So what will happen, first of all, within 15 days, Ofsted have to send me a draft report. I have 5 days to respond to that. They have 5 days to respond to that. And it goes on like that, ultimately meaning that the period is 30 days before legally we have to notify you. All I would say is that it was a very positive experience, and I thank you very much for the positive feedback and support that was given online by parents and the outstanding support from students during the period. And I really look forward to sharing that report with you as soon as it comes out. What I would say inspectors did say is they sent a huge thank you to parents. They said they were really, really impressed with students' behaviour, students' conduct, their development, but most importantly, they were really impressed with students' attitudes and aspirations. They spoke to lots and lots of students during the process, and they said absolutely unequivocally that students had a real sense of where they were going, why they went to the UTC, how they could get themselves and their futures towards jobs, employment, university, apprenticeships, and what skills and attributes and experiences and knowledge they had to gain over that journey. Whether that would be, 6 months to a year as year 11 and year 13, or whether that be, 4, 5, 6 years later in the case of year 9, the students really eloquently expressed why they were driven to go forward into the direction they're going. And that really is the bread and butter of why we're here at the UTC, which makes me really proud. So a huge thank you to students, huge thank you to staff, and clearly a thank you for parents doing that, and I look forward to sharing that with you. A few other updates coming for you, okay, to make you aware of into a letter today as well. And these updates include a couple of things around changing of dates. So the first one is around a notification that we will not be running the training day after February half term. So that is the 28th of Monday, the 28th of February. The last day of February is currently down as a training day. That will not be a training day. We want students to be in school because we're prepping really hard for their exams, and we think given the break we've had already, we can push that later on in the year and potentially later on towards after the exams and focus more time in school working with your children. So I'll confirm this in writing, but the February 28th will not be happening, and it's more likely that will happen in May, June time instead. The other thing to notice is the end of the year date will change because of the Queen's birthday. As you're aware, the Queen's birthday this year has an additional, a Queen's Jubilee, I should say, has an additional day's celebration for it, and that's fallen in the half term of May, June. As a result of that, it means that contractually, obviously, because it's already in holidays, that is going to be added on, and Birmingham schools are adding that on to the end of the year. So students will be breaking up earlier than normal, and I'll be communicating that in my email exactly when they finish in that last week, so you're really clear if you are hopefully booking a chance to go away, especially on the aftermath of COVID and obviously the release of restrictions as well. So that was a change of date. Please notice at the moment we've got changes to the way that coronavirus and COVID-19 restrictions happen, specifically around the move from 7 days down to 5 days isolation. if you get a negative lateral flow test on days 6 and 7 and no temperature. And again, there's information come to you specifically from the Department for Education today that explains that, and I'm sure you've seen it on the news already, which clearly is positive for both staff and students, ensuring we can maintain the continuity of their education to the very highest of standards. The other thing I've put into a message today is around the Section 60 police stop and searches which are going on around Birmingham at the moment, and in fact it goes across a significant part of central Birmingham, including Aston campus and right down, including the area around us. These are in place, as you're aware from the news, because of the increased concerns around knife crime and young people being involved with carrying knives, something which as students in the school we are very concerned about in regards to their safety, and therefore it's really important that we have this facility in place to ensure that our streets are safe. We've spoken to students about it in school, and I'm speaking and I've written to you as parents to say what you can do at home to help the process. One of the things we've seen from across the last week or so from students, not from our school but from other students across the city, and I won't name those schools they're from, but we've seen incidences in the city where we've seen a little bit of conflict and a little bit of attitude towards the stop and search process. And I'm sure people may have their own views on the roles of Section 60s and stop and searches, but most importantly my expectations of ABA students is absolutely clear. We have a high respect for our police service. We are police cadets here as well. We work very closely with our colleagues and friends within the police, and we expect our students to demonstrate the positive attitude and exactly treat any member or any adult, actually, regardless of whether in the police, with the respect that they deserve. And so clearly I expect students to be following a clear set of instructions, and I've put that not only to students, I've put that in a message to you today. So you as parents, I'd be grateful if you could discuss it with your child and talk about how they should act in that situation to ensure that nothing escalates, and more importantly, if they see behaviour which is not becoming of other people, they need to move away from that and ensure they're not associated with it, because it's obviously a very agitated time as this process Section 60 goes on as well. And again, there's contact details in there. If you've got questions around that, please do let us know, and we'll make sure they get passed through to our police liaison officer, PC Steve Mason, and we'll ensure we get the answers for you as well. So thank you very much again for your support. It's been a really positive last 5 days, though tiring clearly coming at the back of it, but a really enjoyable process, and I really do look forward to sharing the results with you, and I'm sure you'll be very pleased and reflect and recognise the language and the words being used by Ofsted of what you see and what your child sees every day normally at AWEA. Thank you for your support. Take care.